Hey there, YouTuber. It's Kurt here. Today, we're going to make an argument and actually a case for banning Ash Blossom. I know. It seems actually crazy to ban Ash Blossom. Why would you ban a generic card when the game is as fast as it is today? Why would you just ban Ash Blossom? It just helps you equalize so well. Well, actually, I think the best argument for Ash Blossom to be banned is that Ash Blossom is incredibly freaking boring. It's the most boring interaction in Yu-Gi-Oh! So let me pull up the screen here. How many times have you did this for your opponent to do this? Like, wow. What creativity, what creative level have we achieved in Yu-Gi-Oh! Where this interaction is just completely stimulates our little brain cells. All right, I know I'm being a little bit ridiculous there, but I will say this card is actually semi-limited in the OCG, and I think there's good cause for it. Like this, when we look on Yugioh scope, we'll just go to Yugioh scope real quick. All right, let's see. Yugioh. There we go. If we go, let's see, individual card statistics. It's taking my internet. My internet's being a pain right now. All right, match cards. It is the single most used card in the meta. In the OCG, they are more apt to actually ban and limit cards based on their usage alone. We did the same with Pankratops, which probably isn't right. I have no idea why we did it with Pankratops. Again, it's a good card, but it was almost a strictly go second card. This card, you just draw. If you go first, you just draw. You're like, oh, I'll interrupt at this moment, and it's extremely generic. I think it makes for really boring interactions overall, and almost every deck, I'm playing it in this deck just because like it's viable to play in this deck, but it's still boring. It's like one of the only, it generically lets you discard, which is funny as well. But like when it comes to every single deck, every deck has its counter cards. You can play equalizers when it comes to almost every deck. Like Dinosaurs, it's Lancia. Occasionally they'll drop a loss to an Ash Blossom, but their death card is Lancia. They do not want to get hit with Lancia. They also pretty much died to Dark Ruler and Skullmeister. We have a lot of options when it comes to hand traps, and most of them force you to be creative, and a lot of them can just be side decks. It's harder to main deck Lancia. It's harder to main deck Nibiru in like today's format because each one of them has their specific situations. But we do have them as side deck options, and that makes the game more exciting in my opinion. When decks have their specific counters and we're able to side deck those in. Ash Blossom, it's boring. It doesn't take brain cells. It's we've seen this interaction so many times to where an opponent just ashes your desires just because we know generically that card advantage is a really good thing. But at the same time, like if my opponent, I guess, hits me with Lancia or hits me with a Lightning Storm, those cards are going to be a lot more high impact than Ash Blossom. I would rather see a game in which people are forced to creatively think about what they want to put in their main, or they want to get creative with how they counter certain decks, rather than just having one card that it almost serves as just a 1-for-1. It's almost like is almost a sort of weird defensive placeholder. That's almost the right word for it. That is seeing play in almost every single deck. And I want a game that's diverse, and I want a game that's exciting. And I don't think this is a card that promotes excitement. And I don't think it's even a card that gives you realistic counters to decks that are giving you problems. Like, let's take Dragon Link. If you're playing against Dragon Link, if they lose to an Ash Blossom, they just drew absolutely terribly. And if you have to draw double hand trap in order to win, that's a problem with game balance. So I don't think Ash is a card that necessarily promotes game health, because if it's a singular card that completely stops your opponent, that is a sign that the game probably is lacking in the health department when Ash Blossom stops someone's turn. But if the game is at a point where Ash Blossom is also extremely weak and you need multiple hand traps to win, though that's also a problem with game mechanics. We can see the problem always comes back to game mechanics, and Ash Blossom has never been a viable solution to those game mechanics, and I don't think it actually belongs in the game in general. But this is just me whining today. Hopefully, but I know there are a lot of people that feel the same way I do. They feel that Ash Blossom is just generically stupid. And there is a case where a lot of people just think hand traps are generically boring. They are right, but this one is the most boring offender. I am very passionate about this. But this is my stupid video for the day, guys, in as far as the Yu-Gi-Oh world is concerned. But I appreciate you guys tuning in. Thanks for watching me lay down and relax and make Yu-Gi-Oh videos. So peace.